back to what could be a looming energy crisis. Reaction now from Arkansas Republican Governor Asa Hutchinson. Governor, I know we want to talk about jobs as well, but first off, let's talk about these energy prices and these gas lines. I mean, you and I, Governor, I don't want to put you in old age category, but I remember the 70s and the gas lines. I'm sure you do as well. Just a year ago, we had anything but. We had $2 gas prices, $2 a gallon, and no problem with supply. And just a couple of major moves by this administration have forced us into exactly the opposite situation.
Well, I do remember the 70s, and this is one of the reasons that Jimmy Carter did not get reelected, because of the gas lines. I hope that this is a short-term circumstance that we're in right now. All indications are that it is, but there's lessons for the future. One, the energy supply is critical, and we've got to have multiple energy sources for our country, so that if one is hit by a cyber attack, we can divert to other sources. Secondly, it shows that we need to invest in our cybersecurity efforts. That's one of the things that we hope the American Rescue Plan money can be used for, to invest in cybersecurity. Obviously, that's the governmental side, but the private sector has to do it as well. And it's shocking to most Americans that one pipeline can have such an impact on the East Coast. Whenever that is shut down, we've got to have better resources, better pipelines, and more effective transit routes to get this to the population centers.
But, Governor, we had a president, an administration coming in saying they were at war with carbon energy. They want to eliminate carbon energy from the American economy in a short space of time, about 15 years. And the first thing the president did was to cancel the XL pipeline. That was the first thing, making us more vulnerable to the demise of other pipelines when they go down. And now we went from energy independence to importing foreign oil, which we're doing right now in order to get out of this crisis. I mean, that's an amazing turnaround, and it seems to me it's much more than just one Colonial Pipeline problem.
Well, it is in the short term, but it illustrates the bigger problem, as you point out. And this administration has indicated that they're not going to put a priority on energy independence here in the United States in the short term. And this is such a source of great pride, because, as we talked about, we remember our energy dependence upon foreign sources. And whenever we have reversed that, that's a great victory for the United States, our entrepreneurial spirit, our investment, our resources, and we don't want to lose that edge that's so critical to our country.
And that's specifically why in the 1970s we were at such a disadvantage energy-wise, why we had an energy crisis back then. I think Jimmy Carter said it was the moral equivalent to World War II. It was because we were dependent on foreign sources of oil, and when they cut off the spigot, we were at their mercy. It seems like we're going back to that by losing our energy independence now, and very quickly.
Well, and it's hard to believe that in today's market, where we had plenty of energy sources in the United States, that it was just decades ago that they talked about rationing gasoline. And so that's the consequence of energy sources, is rationing, and the American public's not going to put up with that. We've got to maintain that independence. I hope this is a wake-up call that we can revive those energy sources and slow down that transition away from our energy independence.
It's hard to do that when you have a president at war with carbon energy. All right, let's switch to jobs. We have had this shocking number, 8.1 million unfilled jobs in the United States, about equal to the number of people unemployed. But those people are not going to the jobs that are unfilled, and a lot of it has to do, you believe, but the president does not believe, in these bailouts, in these unemployment benefits. And you're trying to stop those unemployment benefits. Isn't, as correct as you might be in terms of the analysis of the situation, isn't there a political price for you to pay by cutting off those benefits?
Perhaps, but it's the right thing. Now, you've got to realize, as you do, that we have our ordinary unemployment compensation, and so that stays in place. But right now, we are paying extra compensation for people to stay at home whenever there are thousands and thousands of jobs that are available to them. We will connect them to the job. We will help them to make sure they have any child care coverage that they need. All of those resources are there. We need to encourage them to go back to work. That's why we're giving up the $300 extra compensation that is an incentive for people to stay at home. We're giving that up. Effective June 26. It's the right thing to do from a principle standpoint, but also the employers are begging for workers to come into their place and go to work.
Well, and these benefits don't expire until the end of the summer. So many businesses, particularly small businesses that were hurt by the lockdown so much more than the big mega companies, they were hoping to restart their business for the summer crowds. I mean, that's what they were aiming for, and now those benefits are not going to expire until the end of summer. Even if you're successful, you think of the rest of the country that is stuck with these numbers. Is it going to affect our overall GNP?
Well, it's likely to, and right now the extended benefits, the enhanced benefits, continue through September. We're cutting them off early. A number of governors are taking the same steps, and this should be a signal to the administration that you cannot extend those further beyond September. Right. And that's the first worry, is that they'll extend them again. It can't happen. They're ready to go back to work. America is creating jobs, and we need those people working and back in the workplace.
Yeah. Well, if they extend it beyond September, it's likely that we may be heading towards a recession as a result of that. I don't know if they'd go that far. Governor Asa Hutchinson, we thank you very much for coming in, sir. Appreciate it.